recording this. So it'll be available on our YouTube later today. So thank you so much, Charles Ross from the National Weather Service and State College. I know you mentioned you have a pretty busy day today, so thanks for taking time out of your day to volunteer and give our weather briefing. So I will stop my share and you should be able to start sharing your screen.
Okay, we're gonna, let's see here. I'm not a Zoom expert. I see a share screen. Let's get this started. So I will do the screen. Let me know when you see something.
We are seeing a Google presentation.
Okay, so very good. All right, so you know, if there's anybody has any comments on the way or questions, just I can speak up or chat or something. And so Alex, if you see anything, just break in. And if I miss a chat or something, we'll keep this interactive. I'll just kind of go through a little bit about what the weather looks like for the next 5-7 days, and take a quick peek beyond that, and we'll see what happens. So I'm not going to share this because I have a lot of links. I'm just going to keep it like this. So starting off, we're in a pretty unprecedented stretch of weather for early November. It usually isn't this nice for this long. It's not uncommon to have a day or two, maybe even 3, of that Indian summer type pattern this time of year. But we've been going on this for a week now, and still have today, which is probably not as warm as this weekend, but still going to be really nice. And then we start seeing changes, and then I'll kind of go over that in a second. Yesterday across our part of central Pennsylvania, we had 2 record high temperatures. Altoona topped out. They blew away their record high by 4 degrees, and Bradford was even more impressive, 7 degrees above their record. They hit 74 up there. So, and here we were in the mid 70s as well. So pretty nice day. So when I forecast, I always like to start out by looking at what we should be, kind of just get an idea what the realm of possibilities are for our area. So State College, yesterday we officially hit 75. Our low was 40. No rain, no snow. Pretty good diurnals for this time of year with a relatively dry air mass here in central Pennsylvania. It is considerably moister to our southeast and south of here, but still enough here, dry enough here. We're radiating pretty well at night. So we're having warm, mild days and cool, chilly mornings. I was mid-30s here at my house, a little west of town. And the forecast out of my office today, I looked, it's sunny at 73. So a couple degrees off yesterday, very nice. Normally, we should be 53 and 36. So with the dry air and the relatively long nights right now and clear skies, our low temperatures aren't that far off from normal, a little bit above, but we're obviously the last 5 days we've blown away our average highs, 53. We're past our average high usually by 9-10 in the morning. So monthly precip for November, we average about a little bit over 3 1/3 inches. So close to about a little under an inch a week for this time of year. Rain is normal. We average in November just about 2 inches of snow. Very big standard deviation. There usually most months we don't really see much at all. Some months we get a storm here or there, an early storm. 2 weeks from now, temperatures will be 47 and 32. 1 month from now, 41, 27. December is a little drier. We average under 3 inches of precipitation a month, and we start snowing a little bit. We average about 8 inches of snow coming up. So our temperatures are dropping with the shorter days and lower sun angles starting to really kick in. Extremes 74 today, so we're going to make a run at that. That was back in 99. Our low max back, over 100 years ago, we had a high of 29. That was quite a chilly day. And our high min happened about 18 years ago, 55. So, tonight's going to be a pretty mild night. I don't know if we're going to make any runs. It will quite be that warm. We'll have to look. Remember to look at that. And our all-time low is 17 back when I was a student here, 91. I don't remember it, but I was here. So anyways, 3.5 inches of snow fell on the state in 1987. All right, so that's kind of where we're at climatologically. So let's take a quick look. I'm just going to move through this real quick. We are in over the last several months, we're in a drought across the area. We have D2 drought conditions just north of State College. This is pretty unusual. This is kind of a neat graph here. If you look here, you can see this percent area and of the state of Pennsylvania. And so we're starting to build on our drought. The last significant drought we had was in 2016 into 2017, around the same time of year, about 4 years ago. And then we, over the time, we sporadically get very light droughts, but we're still not quite at the precipitation deficits and the statewide droughtness or dryness that we had in 2002, 2003 timeframe. But still pretty significant period of dry weather right now. Looking at our 90-day precip totals, where you can see we're over the last 90 days, we've had about 7 inches of rain on average across Center County. We're almost 4 inches below average. So pretty dry stretch of weather. If you look at the year to date, if I can pull that up here. Again, not as dry because we had a wet winter, a relatively wet spring. So this dryness really came about, really about July. Early July is when it started. We got into a pretty warm and dry summer pattern this year. So let's see, USGS, just to show you kind of what some of the ramifications of the dryness are. If you look at our stream flows, you'll see across the area we have some very low water levels. Just it was really like that all summer. It was not a good summer to go take your canoe or kayak out on a lot of our rivers and streams. Conditions were just too low to be enjoyable. A lot of rocks and not great conditions for that. And so that's kind of the ramification. The good news is our we're coming off two years ago. We had one of our wettest years in history. It was we had 60 inches of rain in State College, I think, and for the year. And our wells and groundwater levels are not quite as in dire shape. So that's good news. All right, so let's turn our attention to the weather today. The big story in a pretty quiet weather day on the whole across the country is this Eta storm, and it hit the Florida Keys last night, and hit them with tropical storm force winds and pretty good storm for the Florida Keys. And they're still experiencing it because it's really just offshore of Key West right now. And the Hurricane Center has this thing kind of meandering for the good part of the work week, or for really all work week. It's just going to sit in the Gulf of Mexico and sit there. And this is the latest forecast. And actually, it does not look like they're turning it into a hurricane. It's going to sit with winds, sub hurricane strength. But even so, with that kind of circulation, you're going to see a lot of waves and high wave action battering the eastern Gulf of Mexico. So could be a lot of coastal flooding and some heavy rain down there. Now, with our flow pattern, I'm going to show you, we're not going to be directly impacted by the direct moisture of this, but we're going to have a lot of mid and low mid-level moisture that's going to be streaming northward here in the next couple, or in a couple days, and that will be our big chance at rain this week. So that's Eta. Let's look at the satellite photo here this morning, and you can see Eta is kind of meandering a little bit to the southwest as forecast, and we're really in a nice sweet spot right now. We have a lot of subsidence with this upper level ridge I'll show you on the 500 chart here coming up. Still a lot of subsidence aloft, making for great weather. It's been that way. Another Pacific weather system. I won't show you the Pacific satellite, but you can see storms are starting to generate in the Pacific, and so one's approaching the northwest coast today, and then just a general trough over the Rockies. Pretty good snow in the Wasatch and Colorado Rockies today. I'm going to have a nice early start to their ski season out west, and then the big news is really this strong southwest jet, and that's coming in, and temperatures well into the 60s, up even into Minnesota today with a lot of rain, very windy weather over the Midwest today. All that is going to translate our way. So let's head that direction. But I guess I'll show you the radar real fast, and then we'll move into the fun stuff. So Pacific Northwest, no big deal yet, just some onshore flow beginning to kick in, some showers over there. Here's our frontal system over the Midwest, streaming southwest winds, pretty strong conditions. And then, of course, the Northeast is dry. And then here's our widespread squalls associated with Eta down here over Florida. I kind of like to look at the, is this going to pop up? Yeah, there we go. Just to kind of get an idea, I like to see where there's turbulence and just kind of see if there's any, especially when I'm doing my forecast, I'll look for kind of look for my low level wind shear. At this point, you can see most of the wind shear at our low levels is over the Midwest. So we don't have a lot of issues here on that front. So let's start looking at some forecasts. The cams for the next 24, 36 hours aren't too exciting, but they get a little bit more interesting at the very end of time. So we'll start out with the FP3 run today, and you'll see this is last night's run. Won't spend a lot of time on this one because it kind of ends before we want to see the beforehand, but you'll see this is by, all right, so today, let's get our dates right. So today's the 9th. So the 10th is Tuesday and the 11th is Wednesday. So this is 48 hours from now. This will be 0Z Tuesday. So by Tuesday evening, you'll see the front is pretty slowly moving. It's it's not moving real fast. It's just starting to cross through Chicago and into Indiana. And we're starting to increase at this point when this run ends, our southwest flow. And let's move on to a couple different runs because this will be more interesting to look at tomorrow and the next day. So let's kind of look at the Jeffs and see what we have here. So here's a 500 plot. So again, the strong anomalous ridge if I did this briefing on last week ago, it's still there in some capacity. So you'll see the ridge it slowly begins to break down. You'll see the upper level low associated with Eta. It does not really move anywhere all week. It just kind of sits there. So I'm going to kind of look at that for a second, and that doesn't really go anywhere fast. But what we notice here is the trough that's coming out of the Rockies in the Midwest is beginning to start affecting us, at least aloft. Let me go back here. When is this? This is 24-hour forecast. So even by this afternoon or by tonight, again, our heights are just starting to fall. Not much yet. Our winds aloft are still southwest and starting to increase a little bit. So the heights are starting to fall. We're starting to bring up a little bit of moisture advection with the southerly flow on Tuesday. And I'll show you at low levels, there's a lot of low level moisture. It looks like we're going to start seeing our ceilings come back tomorrow. Certainly not nearly as nice a day. Rainfall isn't here yet, but at least the weather is going to start caving in a little bit. And then watch our heights fall. At this point, we're getting into a better pattern here. This is by 60 hours from now. We're starting to get into a pattern here where we're going to have a frontal system associated with the fallen heights aloft and a lot of moisture. As this storm just spins over the Gulf, it's going to put out a lot of moisture. The good news is it's pretty progressive. At some point, the flow is pretty strong, and it kind of pushes the front through here. So it looks like we're going to stop our rain somewhere between an inch or two of rain, and we'll kind of look closer at that here in a second. And then beyond that, as we move in, this goes all the way out for days. So we're at, let me move this so I can see where we're at here. All right, so this is for Friday. Over the weekend, our flow post-frontal goes westerly with much cooler air, or milder air, not really cold air, but milder air coming in. And then there's another mean weak shortwave ridge ahead of another trough that comes in
We'll wait a few minutes and see if he can make his way back. It seemed like it was his internet, not any of ours. So we'll just give him a second. Hopefully he can find his way back into the Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom should automatically detect the connection drop, so hopefully it'll bring him straight back into the meeting. At least that's what's happened to me the few times I've been booted from meetings. Zoom has made an attempt to bring me straight back in. Alex, I'm also going to keep it. Oh, there he is. Muted.
How about now?
There you go.
Where was I? Were you even hearing me?
Say again?
Was I all of a sudden I just dropped out, so I have no idea what I was last saying or not. But
Probably about a minute or so before you dropped out, I'd say. You were still talking about more of the mild.
okay, well, I'll just carry on. Hopefully, I have no idea what happened, but you know, it's the fun of working at home. So let's try this again. All right, can you see me now?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. So what I was saying, and again, I don't know where I was, but next week, you know, just looking at the Jeffs BC, we have a very westerly, strong coast to coast westerly flow with you know, not 550 heights, nothing particularly cold, nothing warm, kind of a more seasonable looking week next week. Probably on the mild side for low temperatures with the Pacific moisture that's flooding the country. And this takes us all the way to right before Thanksgiving. I know we're going way out, you know, but the ensemble really doesn't have any, the Jeffs BC doesn't have anything terribly exciting in either direction, at least, you know, with the 500 height pattern, it looks fairly active westerly flow with that. So, I'll come back to this in a second. Let's look at the FV3 because I believe the cams, we can start seeing the front as it approaches our area on Wednesday, kind of get a better feel for the timing on this. And give it a second to load. All right, more in a second. So this is the a cam model that we can actually get the synthetic radar for. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, I guess I was waiting because there's nothing on it. So so let's move out. So you'll see here we are looking out 24 hours. There's really nothing on the synthetic radar to hold our hat on yet, but here we go. Now we can start seeing the front coming at us, and this is by Tuesday, Jersey Tuesday. Or Jersey Wednesday, so Tuesday evening, starting to see the kind of the southerly flow, some showers popping up over the higher elevation of the Carolinas. And whoops, hold on here. So let's move this forward. Here comes the front and showers ahead of it. And looks like really the rain is going to hold off until the pre-dawn hours, about sunrise on Tuesday. On Wednesday morning, we'll start seeing some of the cams and some of this head of the front. You know, with a little bit of unstable air, there could be some convective showers and maybe possibly even a rumble of thunder perhaps in there with this. It certainly has that kind of cellular look on this run, and it's probably some pretty heavy showers coming through. And it ends at 12Z on Wednesday, so this is kind of right where the fun begins. You know, it looks like a pretty wet day is going to be shaping up for us on Wednesday, which is unfortunate because it's Veterans Day and I have the day off, and I would certainly love a day like today to have my day off on, but that's the way it goes. So, so anyways, that's the FV3. So keep that in mind. Timing Tuesday night, showers increase by sunrise Wednesday. FV3 has us wet. Let's see. What did I? Oh. Let me go back to the FV3. Let's go look at the, we can see the Wharf Nessel 3 kilometer and see how that one looks as well. Let's load that in. So, so there you go. So you'll see it's a little bit more aggressive with some showers. But one thing it is, the radar, the synthetic radar on the Nessel run here, it's a lot more sensitive. And so even though this isn't rain, you can see this is by tonight, overnight tonight. This is pretty indicative and of a lot of moisture and probably clouds and low stratus that will be forming over the area tonight ahead of the front. And then you can see by the real showers, there'll be some very light showers to deal with on Tuesday with this, probably just not hitting the ground really, but the showers really increase timing wise as we head into, here's 8Z Thursday, Wednesday morning. And so during the day on Wednesday by 12Z, where it ends, pretty similar solution with a lot of showers and a wet day lining up for us on Wednesday. So this will be good to look at tomorrow, and especially tomorrow as we head into the event. But at least we're starting to see that there is some, we're starting to see some cams picking up on the major changes in weather that we have coming our way. So that's that. One thing I like to look at whenever we have rain coming, I want to see what the impacts of the rain are. These the ensemble situational awareness tables. I think Rich is on the call. He's one of the developers and had a lot of foresight developing this years ago, and something I like to use. You can zoom in to the mid-Atlantic area here. And I'm just showing this to you, even though I don't expect to see much with this rain. But if you look at the Jeff's QPFM climate, you can set the table up. And we'll just look at 24-hour totals. And there's some pretty impressive rainfall totals. Looking at the reforecast data, and again, it's south of here in Southern Virginia, the James River Basin. I know there could be seeing some flooding down here with that. So the heaviest rain is really looks like it's going to stay to our south. Nonetheless, we will pick up rain for sure. Whoops, let me go back a little bit, but nothing that points to excessive rainfall here. Just a good soaking, beneficial rain coming on Wednesday. So that's good news. We don't want to end this with a flood or anything of that sort. But let's see. I'm going to go back to this here real quick, and I'm going to show you how much rain we're looking at. So if you go back to our viewer here, I can actually go to our NBM. This is our National Blended Model data set. And if I go here, I'm going to go to, we'll look at precipitation, total. Yeah, this is our precipitation that'll kind of accumulate here over time. And let's give it a second to load. So here we go. So this is this goes in 6-hour blocks, and so by this is by 18Z Wednesday. You'll see we're starting to get some rain, and it continues on for most of Wednesday into Wednesday night. So I'm going to stop here. You can see again our NBM model forecast is calling for up to 3 to almost 4 inches of rain through the Carolinas and into Virginia, and pretty good soaking for our southeast counties, Lancaster County and into Metro Philly area as well. We're on the edge here, but certainly not going to be dry. So pretty good wet pattern for us with this system. And again, you'll see it's not directly associated with the Ada, but with the frontal boundary coming and the strong southwest flow ahead and the lift coming with the front, it's going to be a pretty good, at least a 12 to 18 hour period of probably light to some period to moderate, maybe an hour or two of moderate to heavy rain with that as it comes through. And then the NBM goes further out. You can see actually there's another system later in the weekend. This is for Sunday afternoon. Models are, I'll show you the Jeff plumes here in a second. The models are showing another system that could add to some rain later in the weekend that we'll have to watch out for. What's kind of cool about this is you can click here, and I can get a point visualization for State College based on the NBM, and you'll see what it's forecasting. So it's forecasting with the rainfall, pretty solid period of rain here, about a 12-hour period or so, and somewhere about an inch to a little bit under an inch and a half of rain. Then maybe once the front goes through, a couple showers behind it perhaps, but and then a dry period heading in, and then another system on Sunday night into Monday, which again, we'll have to look at. Some of the runs are a little more promising for rain out of that, but the big rain is going to be late Tuesday night into Wednesday. Right now, I can plot temperatures, so we can look at 2-meter temperatures here. And get an idea what our forecast temperature plots look like. So today is the day. Tomorrow, there's quite a bit more spread tomorrow. It really depends on how much moisture comes in. Do we start getting broken to an overcast deck over us here tomorrow? That could it doesn't take a lot of clouds this time of year to bring our temperatures way down. So that's the big question tomorrow. It'll be kind of a tricky forecast. The majority of our solutions still have a pretty nice afternoon on shore for us. And then tomorrow night, the warm night with the cloud cover thickening up and the good southwest flow ahead. So I didn't check our high low for that night. I should have, but that'd probably be our best night of hitting that. And then we slowly fall with our temperatures. And again, next week, remember we had that westerly flow. So pretty seasonable weather. Remember our highs are in the low 50s this time of year. I'm seeing a lot of that on the plumes, and our lows are going to be topping out in the mid 30s. So pretty seasonal stretch of weather, not a ton of rain, not a very active weather system, but just kind of a more seasonable kind of blah November pattern shaping up for us. And let's look at two more things and then open it up for some questions. So looking at the plumes off the Jeff's run, you can see the black is the mean, and it's a little bit over an inch. And I know I've talked a lot with Rich over the last couple months. It appears that generally the plumes have probably been a little bit overdone with our rainfall. So we're probably looking at more like an inch of rain or so out of this, similar to what we had a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, I guess. With the last rain, maybe, probably a similar amount of rain. But there's always there's enough uncertainty that could be more. So it's not a rainfall forecasting. These can be real tough because it can just be a matter of miles between who gets the 1 inch and who gets the 2 inches of rain. So prepare for a wet day on Tuesday, and then the Sunday night into Monday system, a lot of uncertainty with that, but could be some rain again with that. And that's the front that really brings in the strong westerly flow that lasts for a good part of next week. So we kind of have two phases of that. And so that's the Jeff's plot. And then the ensemble from the Euro. I guess really haven't talked about the Euro run, but we'll look at the ensemble here. So looking at the 850 temperature plot, again, staying very mild for the next few days, and then the front comes through, and then the next weather system on Sunday, and then behind that, temperatures fall with a lot of uncertainty in our 850 temperatures as we head into next week. And here's our two periods of rain. One is, of course, the Wednesday, and then the timing, we'll have to work that out, Sunday, Monday period for the next system. And then our 500 heights. Remember, we saw they're slowly falling with the height falls starting to develop to our west, and that continues all week long. And then that kind of stabilizes. And then the next system on Monday, and then the heights fall pretty significantly, actually more significantly on the Euro ensemble than the Jeff's ensemble. So something to keep in mind. But I'll stop it here. Covered a lot in a short amount of time. Let me know what kind of questions or comments are out there. Sure.
There are a few messages popping up in the chat. I know.
All right, let me figure out how to find it here. I see a question and answer. I don't see that. Where do I find the chat?
It should be on the bottom of your screen, right next to the share screen. There's like a
okay.
If you're since you're still sharing your screen.
Oh, I see it. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Maybe I'll see it that way.
Okay.
You may not be able to see. Well, now you may not.
Okay, now I see it. So, okay, let's see here. State College had record highs both Saturday and Sunday. Okay, good. Thanks, John. That's good to know. So, yeah, so we just had a record period of weather go through us, which makes me appreciate it even more. So we have another one, record highs. Yep, see that. GFS is forecasting record high Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, yep, good. Thanks, Rich. That's good. And so good, yeah. So hopefully, any more questions? Anybody got anything they want to, any comments or anything they want to pass on? Or hopefully I covered things, Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I don't think any of the other
All right.
members of the exec board do, but thank you so much for doing the briefing.
Yeah, it's a lot of these are always fun. I can't wait to do it in person again, maybe in the spring.
Hopefully sooner.
Yeah, well, I saw there was good news on a virus this morning, so maybe we can move on. So
Hopefully this time next year. That'd be
on a vaccine, I meant, not a virus. Yeah. So yeah.
What you meant.
Yeah. So very good. All right. Well, y'all have a good rest of the day and get your umbrellas out for Wednesday. And get out today. Go outside. So, all right. Take care.